Yeah, she did. Hey guys, yeah, sorry if you heard a little something there. The phone just rang, and I think my mom may have hit it by accident because she just got to work. But anyway, I wanted to come on here because last night WWE presented as I look at it, the soft reboot, relaunch, if you will, of NXT. You know, it'd been for weeks. It had been promoting, what NXT was going to be like. This new Nxt 2.0, which they are going by right now officially for the time being. But, for weeks they've been promoting what it was going to look like, how it's going to be presented. And what I saw last night, basically, from my point of view, from what I saw through the pictures, through YouTube clips, from what I've read from people on Twitter and Facebook, what I saw and heard, about the soft relaunch, the soft reboot of NXT, from what I can gather, is it's going to be a hybrid. And I'm not talking a hybrid of fighting styles or anything like that, no. I'm talking a hybrid of the present meets the future. That's what it is. Basically, the stars that have been with NXT over the past couple of years, like Gargano, Ciampa, Dunn, if you will, Candice, all these established NXT names that have arrived in the past several years, they basically are going to be interacting with the future of NXT. That's what I'm noticing. Because the way I get this vibe, basically, is the fact that they begin the night with LA Knight coming out and I guess doing a promo, and he gets interrupted by a newcomer called Brock Breaker, or in reality, Rex Steiner, the son of Rick Steiner and the nephew of Scott Steiner. And Rex goes on to have a match with LA Knight, who I guess challenged him or something, and he ended up winning. He beat LA Knight, which pretty much, in my opinion, if you beat someone that's put into the main event for the vacant NXT title, which, by the way, if you're wondering why it's vacant, it's because Samoa Joe had to relinquish it due to injury, but some people are very suspicious about that. They don't think he was really injured and that he only vacated it because of the fact that they wanted to crown a new champion to, basically get people to watch the show, if you will, knowing that's possibly going to happen. So yeah, LA Knight was part of what was initially a fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match, and he got taken out. Not taken out, but he basically got beat by the newcomer Brock Breaker, Rex Steiner, in his debut, which pretty much catapults, as we see at the end of the show, Rex right into the title picture, the main event title picture of NXT. And he wasn't the only one, though. Speaking of the main event, Kyle O'Reilly, who was supposed to be in the main event in storyline, got taken out by Ridge Holliday and Pete Dunne. So he got replaced by Vong Wagner, a newcomer called Vaughn Wagner, a newcomer named Vaughn Wagner, who is the son, apparently, of Wade Bloom, of the tag team Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom, or, as some of you might know him, as one of the Beverly Brothers. One of the Beverly Brothers from WWE, WWF. So Vong Wagner was placed in there, and he looked, from what I saw in the clip that WWE put up on the YouTube page, he looked really good. He actually looked very impressive for what we saw. Now, with that said, we also saw another presentation of the Creed brothers, who are part of the Diamond Mine stable. And they look impressive. Obviously, you can tell that one of the Creeds is I guess you could say, the modern day version of Brock, which, a lot of people are saying, hey, keep an eye out for him down the line as a singles competitor. And then we saw the in-ring debut of B-Fab, who's part of Hit Row, and apparently she did good. And the teasing something with her and Elektra of Los Fantasma. So that's going to be interesting. And just by teasing that, they're showing that that's the future of the NXT women's division, along with the likes of Frankie Monet and Raquel Gonzalez and many others to come, including that one girl that made her in-ring debut last night, that Lito, that Tai Shi, if you will. They already have been booking. They now have booked a cruiserweight match for Roderick Strong and Kushida next week, which is basically the present NXT guys, if you will, competing, in the new 2.0 version of NXT. So that's basically another example of, what this, NXT 2.0 is going to be like. They also introduced a new girl in the Diamond Mine, who a lot of people look like is a fusion of Rhea Ripley and legit Leah Hirsch. And I think her name is Nelly or something like that, Nilly, whatever. But she looks, physically she looks impressive. And she looks like she can beat anybody's butt if you cross her. So we'll see what they do with her. But yeah, she's another example of the future, along with the Creeds and everything. I mean, Diamond Mine, I'll put it this way. Diamond Mine, to me, is the perfect example of what NXT 2.0 is. You have basically the face of the Diamond Mine, Roderick Strong, present. You have the Creed, and then you have this Nile girl, who are basically the future of NXT. So, perfect combination right there. Perfect combination. And, to me, overall, this NXT is, depending on what you want to believe or who you believe, I think somebody put it best. It's a, judge for yourself like NXT. It's like you got to see it to judge it for yourself. I mean, there are some people here on YouTube, like Just Alex, that I follow, that, used to love NXT, but they're not too sure about this one. And from what they've seen, they might be one of those that'll be like, kind of iffy about it. Like, they'll like some things about it, but they're not going to like some things about it. So we'll see what happens when Alex finally gets a chance to watch it once his pal comes back on in Houston. And pray to God it comes on today. But yeah, overall, to me, I just get the vibe of NXT 2.0, this soft relaunch, this soft reboot, if you will, that it's nothing more than a hybrid of the present meets the future. That's what it is. And, some people might say, well, isn't that what NXT was originally? In a sense, but not so much. You see, basically the one thing they want to do with NXT now is get back to, I guess, from what I can tell, the mutual agreement with Hunter and Vince and Bruce, and Sean, is to get NXT back to having its own identity again. To where NXT is where you can only see these certain individuals, which is why it's being focused on as being where you can see these new stars that are making the in-ring debut here that you don't see anywhere else, like Rick Steiner's son, like Wayne Bloom's son, like B-Fab, like the Creed brothers. These are just examples basically of, I think, the identity they want to get NXT back to, being like, you can only find these stars here. You can't find them on Raw. You can't find them on SmackDown. You can't find them on 205. Well, you can find them on 205. What am I saying? Because you got Odysseus Jones on there, Odyssey Jones on there, who's another big guy. But you can't find them on, like I said, you can't find them on Raw. You can't find them on SmackDown. You can't find them in PWG, you can't find them on Impact, you can't find them in All Elite, you can only find them here. So I think that's what I think, honestly. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think, honestly, that's what this new NXT is. It is a hybrid of the present meets the future in a way to establish or reestablish NXT with its own identity of this is the only place where you can find these kind of stars that are great athletes in the ring and more. So we'll have to see what happens. But I think, again, to quote what one person said, it's one of those shows that, you just have to judge for yourself. Because there are going to be some good things about it you like. Some, like the presentation and the presentation of the environment, the aesthetic of the area, the venue. It looks good. But again, some people feel it gives off the vibe of being in a high school gym with a big budget presentation behind it, if you will. But we'll have to see. We'll see what occurs. We'll see what they do in the future. Some people feel that, again, it's a mixed bag. Because, of course, with reports of Kevin Dunn being behind there, script being torn up and everything. It didn't really gel right with a lot of people. And last night, I think honestly, last night kind of perplexed a lot of people that, felt like, oh, it's history, it's dead, it's whatever. Going off by these reports was what I'm trying to say. Going off of these reports, that's what I'm trying to say. Basically, they're probably feeling perplexed right now. Like, yeah, this is some good stuff here, but still, it's a mixed bag. It is a mixed bag. And I go back to what I said in that one clip I took off my Topics on My Mind video, a live stream I did a week or two ago, where I basically talked about, and asked, are fans rebelling against WWE by supporting, AEW and all that? And I think even though they're perplexed, honestly, by what they saw last night, despite the reports they heard, they're still going to find some bad things about it because they're rebelling. And the rebelling is just because they want it to be better. They want it to be a WWE that they know overall, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, don't matter, overall, that, is home of the best wrestling, period. Not just sports entertainment, but wrestling, period. So with this NXT 2.0, we'll see if they'll be able to, achieve just that. Again, some people that went by those reports of Kevin Dunn's there, the script got torn apart a lot, the atmosphere is weird and all that. Again, they're probably feeling perplexed because they're like, well, wait a minute, they said this, but we got this. What's going on? They're finding it hard to believe anything. And it's like I said in a video yesterday that I filmed with my GoPro in 4K, a little plug there. Basically, assumptions and wrestling fans don't mix. We do not mix very well. It's like oil and water. We do not mix. So honestly, we can't let assumptions get the best of us. We can't assume because, someone's saying Dunn's back there to oversee production, or, this happened or that happened, that we got to assume the worst. Because if we do, and we get what we got last night, it's going to leave us, as I said, perplexed. But we'll see where WWE goes from here. Obviously Triple H will be back. Triple H will probably, hopefully, oversee a lot more along with Sean's help. And maybe, as much as people may not like this, he may rely on Dunn from a production standpoint to come in and help out in the long run. And you can't tell me that what we got last night, there weren't some people that worked with Hunter and Sean that weren't back there behind the scenes making sure things went the way they should, especially in this new environment. So let me know what you guys think, though, down below. Comment if you like. Comment in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Check out the Teespring store. But yeah, it's apparently one of those kind of versions that you got to just judge for yourself. Watch for yourself and watch and judge for yourself, basically. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and I'm out.